Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Geeky Pod with Manas. In this episode, we have a very special guest. She's a friend of mine from college. After college, she pursued masters from NIT Durgapur, and from then on, she got the opportunity to pursue a PhD from IIT Roorkee. However, the destiny had some other plans for her, so she chose to be in the civil domain by appearing for civil service examinations and many other civil service related examinations. So she appeared for TPSC 2024 and she cracked it with a rank of 3. And in this episode, we have talked about how she struggled through entire journey and how she managed to overcome all the hardship that came along with this preparation that she appeared for. Also, we have talked about the curriculum of TPSC. We have talked about the various ways to crack TPSC, various source materials one can study in order to crack this particular examination, and many other things. In this channel, we talk about various career related aspects. So TCS TPSC is one of the most sought after career domain in, at least in Tripura. In every state, there is a civil service examination. As part of Tripura, it is TPSC, Tripura Public Service Commission's examination of TCS and TPS. So with this episode, we try to bring more and more career oriented podcasts with people who have excelled in their career or who are undergoing various similar kind of endeavors in their career. So I hope this episode you like it. Please like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section what you like about this episode, and what you don't like also, please let me know. Thank you. Enjoy the podcast.
Yeah. So first thing that I want to know from you is, so when we hear the result, right, we know the achievement, we know the success, but I want to know the struggle behind the success. So from college onwards, I know you, right? So from college to till now that you have achieved this success. So what was your journey and hardships that you faced, and all the struggles that you have undertaken to reach here? If you can elaborate.
Actually, civil service was never my plan. I always wanted to do something in engineering field. Not that so-called PWD jobs and all, but I wanted to do something in research field. Okay. So after I did my BTech, as you know, from NIT Agartala in civil engineering, I did my MTech from NIT Durgapur. Okay, and there also I got gold medal. So I was totally focused to pursue my like further studies in engineering. So I was just about to join my PhD program in IIT Roorkee. But what happened? Like something happened in my personal life where I had to like go to some what can I say, some quasi judicial body where I had to fight for some legal rights and all. And there I came to know the power of a civil servant. Like I felt that students like us, if we go for civil services, then we have a lot to like offer to the common people. And now the like if we go to the government offices, we have to wait for hours and hours, and then the officer will come. And most of the officers, they are not too much dedicated to the work, or maybe they don't get time or enough resources to help us. So I feel that why can't I go for civil services? Because then I will have power to help people. And so it like sounded very much lucrative to me in a good way. Okay, so I felt that I should start for UPSC preparation. And as I remember, that was the year of COVID year, and I was in my final year of MTech. So I just bought few of the books, and I just started reading. Normally, it was not a very much proper preparation. So I started reading, and that was the time when online coachings were available. It just like started coming to the market. So I started studying, and I took 3 or 4 coaching courses. So I felt okay. Now these things are interesting. I remember the first subject that I started preparing, that was polity. And being a science background student, I had no uh, 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 prior knowledge in polity. So it was a totally new domain for me. But I felt that it is very interesting. So then when I finished my MTech, so I full-fledgedly started preparing for UPSC. So I remember for around 2 years, I totally uh, closed my the doors of my room, and then I started preparing for it. No relatives were allowed in my room. I stopped to go to any kind of gatherings. I left all my friends, or the reverse happened. My friends left me because I had no time to give them. So what can I say? I knew that the success ratio is very low. So every day I used to study for 12 hours, 14 hours. And in the night when I used to go to sleep, I felt like, what are the chances? Most of the nights I used to cry. And then in the morning, I will get up, and again the same routine. Again, I will start preparing with the same energy. So eventually, I got habituated to this life, and no earning, not a single penny I was earning. So life was very dull at that time, but the focus was that I have to like get into this service. And I was like, I'm not going to prepare for it years after years. I'll give just only one attempt in case of TCS, and in my single attempt only I have to crack this exam. So that was the reason that I totally isolated myself from the civil society, you can say. And now I can see that the results are really good. So yeah, that's it.
Right. So I like the last line. So in order to become a civil servant, you have to isolate yourself from the civil society.
From the
Right.
civil society. True, very true.
Right. So in this journey, right, so you definitely had different stoppage where you felt to give up because things were not going as you expected. You were taking mock examination and it were not coming up to that mark, and you felt like demotivated. Like, what I'm doing? Am I wasting my time? I could have gone for higher studies where I could have achieved something more, as I wanted always. So how you cross those hurdles where there are low points and high points in everyone's career, in everyone's life, right? So you also had definitely some low point where you felt, what I'm doing. So what motivated you during that time that you have to cross this journey and achieve your goal?
You know, Manas, I have a very unique quality of daydreaming. I like keep doing it all the time. Like anytime, like if I sitting somewhere, I don't know from where these thoughts come to my mind. I start dreaming about something. So from the very first day, what I used to do, I used to dream about the future life that I'm going to have. I didn't know whether I'll become a civil servant or not, but it was like I used to dream that I have already become the civil servant. Now I'm sitting in my chamber, I'm doing my duties, what type of saris I will wear, or what will be my what can I say, my personality as a civil servant. So these were the things that actually motivated me, like to imagining myself in the future, so that I can work in the current situation. So that is what I used to do. And whenever I felt very low, I'll just shut my doors and I will start crying. I'll cry for 10 to 15 minutes. And then when everything I will cry out. And then again, I'll feel fresh, and then I'll start studying. So that is what I used to do.
Right. Uh, so in this journey, right, you mentioned that you joined some coaching institutes and you also took help of various online materials available. Also, one point I remember you mentioned that there when you started this TCS journey, right, TCS TPS journey under TPSC, there are not much material available online. You had to visit a institute personally and take a coaching, right? So, as someone who is starting out to take this course in their journey, how do they approach? How you started to approach, and which may also benefit others. Like, if you are, let's say, you are there in Durgapur, then you are planning to go to Roorkee, right? By sitting there, is there a way that we can also start preparing for this examinations?
See, the way I prepared myself, I'll never suggest anyone to start like this, because in my time, I had no idea about this preparation strategies and all. So, and that was the major reason why I like missed UPSC twice, because I didn't know that how to start or which books I should refer to. And most of the times, I used to study a lot, but I used to like do researches on certain topics, which is totally unnecessary for this type of examination, because the syllabus is very vast. You cannot cover everything at a go. So you have to pick things very in a very wise manner, that which things you should study, which things you should not study. That is the major part of this preparation, because we keep studying everything. Like I remember when I started preparing for UPSC especially, I knew that I have to cover the Hindu newspaper every day. So I used to give around 3 to 4 hours to that newspaper only, and I had no idea that which articles I should focus more on. So in that case, what happened, that I wasted like much time on that, which was totally unnecessary. So, for the beginners, now with whatever experience I have, I'd like to say that before even thinking about appearing for this exam, first of all, you have to you have to just make your mind whether you are ready for it or not. Because first of all, you have to make yourself ready that in this journey you have to face so many hurdles. So you have to decide whether you are ready for it or not. Only when you know all the pros and cons of this examination, then only you should start it at the very first instance. And when you start it, you have to know that there is no way to go back, because you are already in the mid of the journey. Now you have already invested 1 or 2 years in this journey. So now if you think that okay, chalo abhi ye nahi karte, abhi aur kuch karte hain, aisa nahi hota. You have to, if you start it, you have to complete it. Okay, so I would say that for the beginners, uh, first of all, you have to understand what is your level, because some students are very studious. During their school days they have studied a lot. Their arts subjects are also very strong, as well as the science subjects. So for them the strategy will be different. And those students who are not that much studious, and they had very average scoring in throughout their school life, so they have to focus more on each and every subject. Based on that, the preparation should be started. So we all know that more or less we have to start with the basic books of NCRTs in few subjects. And for coachings, I would recommend that I will not recommend anyone to join any coaching at the very first instance, because we will join a coaching and they will like keep giving us materials. So everything will just go over your head. So first of all, take some time, at least 6 months. Go through the basic books. Try to understand the syllabus of this exam, may it be UPSC or TCS. I'm talking about TCS now. So for TCS, I would say that try to understand the syllabus first of all, because the TPSC syllabus is very precise, and it is very what can I say, very concise. It's not too much elaborated syllabus. So try to understand it and go through the basic books. When you think that you are ready to go by the materials which are being provided by the institutions, then only you join any standard institute. If you feel so, in my case, actually, I didn't join any institute. I made my notes myself for TCS. And for UPSC, actually, I followed some of the online coaching classes. For it's not that any particular coaching class I have followed. For each and every subject, if I felt that this particular coaching is good, I followed their classes and made my notes. And for TCS, I made my separate notes based on those earlier notes only. Okay, because the syllabus of UPSC and TCS is not entirely different, but also you can say that the syllabus of TCS is a subset of UPSC. Okay,
Okay.
so if you cover the UPSC syllabus, automatically 90% of the TCS syllabus will be covered, and 10% syllabus for that you have to work in a different way. So that is what I did.
Okay. So now, was the curriculum that you appeared for this year, right, was different from last year? Because so many changes has come right in between. Was there any change of curriculum, shift, or syllabus that you had to differently take as part of it?
Uh, as the syllabus, I would say that it was I mean, it was similar. Syllabus was similar, nothing was changed. But I heard that earlier the exam used to take place in 3 days, but gaps were there between the exams. But this year what happened, we had to write two papers in a day, single day, 3 hours each. and there was no gap in between the exams. Like if today I'm writing two papers, tomorrow again I have to write two papers, and day after tomorrow again two papers. So it was actually a very tedious job, because earlier what you do, that no matter how good you are good you are as a student, how much you have studied, but at least you need some rest to make your mind cool and calm, and you need some time to at least prepare what you have, like you have to revise, right, what you have studied throughout the year. Before you write anything in the exam, you have to revise at least. But this year we didn't get time to revise, so whatever we studied throughout the year, based on that only we had to write the exam. So that was the first change. Second change, I would say that earlier the questions that used to come in the TCS TPS exam, that was little bit like more or less static type of question. Let me give you an example. Suppose earlier they used to ask what is finance commission, what are the function of finance commission, this type of question. But this year the questions were more or less in the line of UPSC questions, which used to come before 2015 in the UPSC exams. Like for MCQs, there was no one liner question. This year they used to give sentences, then you have to find out which one is right, wrong, these type of questions for MCQs, which was time consuming. And second was that GS paper questions, it was based on conception. They used to ask to critically analyze, or what are the benefits of this and that. No, like the questions were not straightforward. It was like they wanted to know what you think about this situation. Like if there is a finance commission, then what will be the impact on the finance commission if GST is being employed. So this type of questions actually we could see this year. So that was the basic difference between previous years and this year.
Right. So I'll like to take a pause, and I'd like to request you to explain the structure of this TPSC examination, right? Because some of our viewers who are new to this examination, they might not know
Hmm.
what we're discussing. You mentioned two exams, right? In a day, you have to write two exams. What are those exams, and generally, what are the exams which takes place as part of TPSC to clear out TCS examination?
So TCS TPS examination is a three-stage process. The first stage is preliminary exam, second stage is mains, and third is personality test. In preliminary exam, there is a single paper, and 200 marks is there for this paper, and the time limit is 2.5 hours, and negative marking is there. So in that paper, we have basic English and composition, English grammar and composition. We have quant, we have reasoning and all these type of things, and along with that we have history, with geography, economy, current affairs, general knowledge, and like in that we have art and culture. All these topics are there in the preliminary exam. So once you clear this exam, then you have to go for mains exam. In mains we have six papers. The first is uh, the language paper 1, this is fully English for 100 marks. Second is language paper 2. Here 50 marks is for English grammar and all, and 50, there are three choices. Either you can go for alternative literature, or you can go for Bengali, or you can go for Kokborok. So in my case, I took Bengali, and that was actually accidental for me, because the time when I was filling up the form of TCS DPS, I was so naive that I didn't even know that what is alternative English and what is Bengali. I thought that I am Bengali, that maybe I have to take Bengali only. So I took Bengali, and after that, everyone told me, "Why did you take it? Because Bengali is not scoring. At least 10 to 15 marks less you will get in this paper." So fortunately, I didn't get that. Even I scored more than those who took alternative English. So that was really a very, what can I say, uh, boon in disguise for me, I can say.
Right.
Okay. And next is GS paper 1. In GS paper 1, it is for 150 marks. 100 marks will be for current affairs, GK, science and tech, and what do we have? Yeah, we have quant and all. So this is for 100 marks. MCQ will come from that. And then 50 marks will be for 25 for disaster management and 25 for environment. Second paper is GS2. There we have history of India and also Tripura. Third paper is like GS3 is for polity, governance, international relation. These topics are there. And fourth paper is in economics, GS4. This is for economics. So these are the six papers. For four papers, we have 150 marks each, and for those two language papers, we have 100 marks each. So total 800 marks are there. So once you clear mains, then you have to go for personality test. For personality test, you have 100 marks, and out of that, whatever you get, the total mark will be calculated for mains and interview. Based on that, you will get your name on the merit list. So that's it.
Okay, so prelim is just for elimination round for someone to get into the main.
Yeah. This is for only for qualifying. This is qualifying in nature.
So now I'm coming to the last part, which is the personality test of this entire examination setup. As part of personality test, we see on the social media as well as on YouTube and various other platforms, like Drishti IAS and many various other platforms where mock interviews takes place, right? So for UPSC and maybe for TCS as well, and various other state civil service exam as well. So was it that similar lines or it was different from what we see normally? How was it? From your experience, you tell, how was it? What were the questions?
I would say it was quite similar to that. And the personality test, the entire process was very interesting, because I remember when I was inside that room, I think there were 9 members in the entire panel, including the psychologists and all. So questions, the type of questions they ask, or mostly they try to understand your conception and personality about the society and the way you think. It's not that a test for your GK or current affairs, but what do you think as a person. They may ask you about women reservation. So in that case, in that way, they would like to know that what is your perception about the position of women in the society, or like this type of questions. It's not straightforward GK or current affairs type question. So it is quite similar like that only. And sometimes the situation is very serious type of situation is there, and sometimes it's like very casual, but it's fun. I believe it's very fun. Even I
Right.
had
So
to sit in that room for 1 hour.
1 hour, okay. So you are grilled or you're like chilling out with
Yes,
all your.
mine. No, actually, when I entered the room, I just before entering the room, I saw my watch. I just saw that the minute hand was in like in it was showing some 15 minutes. Okay, so I thought that did my watch stop working? And then I saw no. Actually, I was there inside that room for 1 hour. So it was fun, really very fun.
Okay, so after all your exams, right? Did you see the movie 12th Fail?
I actually watched the movie before even appearing for my interview, 12th fail.
Okay,
After
so
my
in that
mains, I watched that movie.
only
Yeah.
this interview
Yeah.
scene is there, right? When that guy
Yes, yes,
enters
yes.
into that room and all this conversation happens.
Mhm.
So when you were going for the interview, whether a similar kind of idea was there in your mind, or like you were already prepared? No, this is just a movie; it's not going to happen.
Actually, what happened that I faced the same panel twice before TCS TPS interview. Because
Oh, okay.
before I had to, yeah, because I for the first time I faced the interview board during my excise interview, and then in combined one also I faced the same panel. 2 or 3 members were changed, but most of the panel was same, especially the chief. So I knew that who will be sitting there, and how they will be like how they will start talking to me. I knew everything, so I was very like I was very calm in nature. I knew that what will happen inside.
Right. So now that you have brought up this like brief career that you have chosen in the customs department as well, excise department, not customs. Sorry. So that was a part of your plan
Excise.
B. I feel right. That was part of your plan B while you were chasing for plan A, which is the civil services. Now, My question is how important it is to have a plan B when you are chasing for your ultimate goal of plan A. Because if you see in the society, so many people are there who are still chasing their plan A and years and on and chasing, where there is no plan B to fall back on. How important it is, as per you, to have a plan B to fall back on?
See, I believe that I never relied on my plan B. Even I never had any plan B. Because the time when I started preparing, I just had only one goal in my mind. So plan B actually happened to me accidentally. I got excise after I wrote my mains for TCS. I remember the day I finished my TCS mains exam. Just 2 or 3 days after that, I got my interview call for excise. So that time I was very relaxed, and when I got that job for excise, so then I felt that now I have nothing to do because my mains exam is over. So what will I do now? So it's better to join a service. But when I was preparing for TCS, that time I also got two more jobs, but I didn't join those jobs because I never had any plan B. So I never felt that before getting into TCS, I will start doing another job at least before writing my mains. So when I finished with my mains, then only I joined excise. So if excise happened before mains writing, I don't think that I would have joined that because it would have harmed my preparation somehow.
Hmm.
So I never had any plan B.
So, what was your experience in the excise department? I believe you are posted in a remote area of Tripura, right? Kowai district.
Yes,
So, how was the
quite.
experience there?
Actually, I feel I don't know what to say. It feels very funny because before even joining excise, it was very hard for me to even tolerate the smell of alcohol, honestly. So, so I joined that department. I had to go for random raids, and sometimes I had to go for shop verification and all. So, the smell of alcohol, country liquor, um, I felt nauseated, and but slowly I got used to it, and then I found that exercise job is also very fun because it gave me the exposure. Before joining to exercise, I didn't even know that there were so many places in Tripura. Even I learned so many names of so many rural places. I could see the lives of different type of people throughout the state. So it was very much what can I say, that like my mind got explode when I started doing my excise job. And as you know that as excise inspectors we have to go for random raids and all, so there also I could learn how to deal with people, common people, especially when they are angry mob is
Mhm.
there, how to deal with that. So it actually gave me what can I say, a training before joining my TCS job. So that was very funny, fun to do this job, exercise job. That is what I can say.
Right. So now I believe that you have got the posting in TCS and you have joined your job, right? What will be the next steps once you join? There will be training, I believe, and then finally posting, right? Is it the same?
We just now we got our offer letters. We are
Mhm.
preparing our documents, and once we
Mhm.
submit it, then we will get our joining. So till now we have not got it our joining. But once we get our joining, I heard that we will get some attachment posting. I'm not sure about it. I just heard about it that we will get some attachment posting, and maybe after few days they will send us for our training program. And after we are done with that, and then we will get our main postings.
Right.
So
Right. So we are about to close the conversation that we're having. So, but before we close it, right? So, any suggestions that you want to give to people who are, chasing their dreams to go with UPSC or TCS or for any entrance exam for that matter, but they are struggling and not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel, and they're feeling hopeless. How will you motivate them, and what is your suggestion for them uh, from your experience all over?
uh, what I have said earlier, that before you start preparing for any type of exam, it may be TCS, TPS, civil services, or well, maybe any type of exam, the first thing that you should understand whether you are ready for it or not. You have to make your mind uh, understand that no matter what happens, you have to go by your dreams, and in between you have to face hurdles. And relatives and some friends, so-called friends, they will be like, they will come to you and say that you are just wasting your time, you have no future, see someone else is doing a better job, someone else is getting married, what are you doing, you are doing nothing. So these things will come to your mind each and every time, that maybe I'm wasting my time, I have nothing to do, I'm worthless. So you have to fight this type of thoughts every day, and you understand that if there is a thought which is coming to your mind constantly, you should understand that these things has already happened to you in future. So if someday you just get an idea that you are a TCS officer or IS officer, and continuously you are having the same idea, you are dreaming of that, that means in future it is already stored for you. So you should not lose your hope. You have to work for it. You have to work hard for it. And the day you achieve it, those same relatives and friends will come and say that we knew that you will do it. It happened to me also. I still remember. I want to share one personal experience. um, a school friend of mine, her father once asked me, just 2 years ago, when I just started preparing for it, that okay, you are preparing for UPSC or civil services, this is very hard to get this type of jobs, why don't you prepare for this clerical exam or that clerical exam. He like told me this. So I felt very heartbroken that time. But when I like cleared this exam, then they only told me that we knew that you will get through it, you were always very bright, this and that. So these things will happen, but you have to get motivated, and motivation should come like from your inside, because I don't think that no motivational speaker or anyone in your vicinity can come to you and can make you motivated. And if they can, this will like last within you only for few minutes, and then again you will lose your energy and urge to do anything new in your life. So you have to get motivated every day, but you are the one who will motivate yourself, and then whatever you are doing, you have to stand and you have to struggle forward to achieve whatever you are dreaming of. So that's it.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you have come till this point, that means you have watched the entire episode. Thank you so much for that. Please share this episode with your friends, with your aspiring, juniors, with your aspiring colleagues, or whoever is appearing for TPSC examinations. Please share it with them and let them know that there is an episode which exists which talks about TPSC examination, and keep supporting like this. Hope you have liked this episode already and subscribed to this channel. Thank you.